All right, today's lesson is on arc length. And it's just the length of the arc on the circle with given radius and angle measure. All right, so S represents arc length, R represents radius, and theta, remember that's the Greek letter theta, is used to measure, is the measure of the center angle, but very, very important. It's always in radians. So for today, what you're going to need is a pencil, a calculator, and a brain if you have one. All right, let's get started. How do you find this arc length? It's a very, very simple formula. The arc length is equal to R times theta. So all I need is the radius and the measure of the angle, always in radians. If it's not in radians, we're going to need to convert it to radians. So let's take a look at an example. Here we have a circle with a radius of 3 inches and an arc length of 100 degrees. So not an arc length, sorry, and the theta, the angle, central angle. Okay, so what is the length of this arc? Well, using this formula, S equals R theta, I just replace R with 3. Now, the degree, or the angle is in degrees, so we're going to need to convert that. And remember from a previous lesson, to change that, we multiply by pi over 180. So now I need my calculator. All I have to do is type in 3 times 100 times pi, find your pi button, my pi button's right there, divided by 180. The calculator does order of operations for me. And there we go. I want to round these to 2 decimal places, so it'd be 5.24. So the length of the arc is 5.24 inches because my radius was in inches. All right, so it's that simple. Number 2. The radius this time is 4 meters, and my angle is 20 degrees. Okay, so I want to know, what is this length here? That's my S. So S equals R times theta, where in this case my radius is 4 meters. My angle is 20 degrees, but again, the angle must be in radians, so very simple, just convert by multiplying by pi over 180 degrees. Then get your calculator and just type those in. 4 times 20 times pi divided by 180. Calculator does all that work for me. 1.40. Remember how to round correctly. That 9 goes up to a 10 because that is 5 or above. So 1.40. And my units are in meters. All right, you try one. This time we have a radius of 3.4 feet and a measure of 300 degrees. Oops, not 30, 300. All right, you try this one. Put it on pause for a second and try this one. So you should have had S equals R theta. In this case, the radius is 3.4 times 300. But again, that has to be in radians, so I'll multiply by pi over 180. And then just type that in your calculator. Let's see what we get. So 3.4 times 300 times pi divided by 180, and you should have got 17.80. Don't forget your units, 17.80 feet is my arc length, and that's this length out here. Okay, this one right here. Now I could have used some geometry if I wanted. Their circumference equals 2 pi r, and this is just a fraction of that 2 pi, or it's a fraction of the 360 degrees, but I didn't want to do that. And that's it. I'm only going to do those three. You now have some homework. Little shout out to my group in 5th period, and the 2 who show up in 2nd period, and the 2 who show up in 7th. Thank you so much for showing up.